So hello guys, welcome back to Being Molly Jane, where we explore African village life. So in today's video I want to show you some of the things that you will find only in an African village life, and this is western part of the country, that is Luo Nyanza and western. So I'll start with this thing we use to make msheraha. It is usually made from two old plastic containers. The one at the top has holes at the bottom. It has holes poked at the bottom, and the one at the bottom is complete or not poked. Then there is a stick or a piece of wood that is placed in between them so that they don't completely stick onto each other. Then there's usually ash that is placed on top of this one at the top. So this ash is usually made from maize cobs. When we harvest, we have maize cobs, we burn them or we use them as firewood. Then the ash that we collect from the maize cob is what we use, or sometimes we use the leaves from beans. When we harvest beans, we burn the leaves and keep the ash. So that ash is what I've added on top of that, or I've placed inside that container. Now I'm adding water. And I'll let that water stay like it has stays now, and as you can see, it has reduced in amount or in volume. If you remove the first one, in the first container, you'll see that water. That water is what we are looking for and is what is called msheraha. I'll add some water. I'll add some more water so that I can collect more msheraha. This is also msheraha, but it was collected from ash that had been recycled for quite some time or for a long time. So this water, we'll collect it and add it to a bottle and keep it. This is the water that has been filtrated through the ash, and we use this water in the place of bicarbonate of soda or magadi. Next, we have this pot that is special and it is made from metal. We use this pot to cook vegetables that we cook using msheraha, or the water you have seen us making earlier. This pot is used to make mbogas that are cooked with msheraha, and this includes kunde, mrenda, and vegetables like that when we don't want them to turn brown. Next, we have this pot that is molded from clay. It's made using clay. We use this pot to cook meat and stripes. That is meat, any type of meat that except chicken and matumbo. Like here, we were using it to cook some mutton. Next, we have this pot that we use to keep water for drinking. It usually keeps water very cold. It must have a lid, and we don't put a cup on top of it, because if you put a cup on top of it, people will drink with the cup and still leave it there, and another one will drink with the same cup and contaminate the water with saliva. So we usually don't keep a cup on top of it. You come with your cup when you want to drink, so that you fetch and then leave with your cup. Next, we have this pot that we only use maybe once a year when we are making busa during Christmas. Interesting, right? And kindly note that none of the pot is washed using soap. We only use clean water and something to clean. Next is this tub or basin that we usually obtain from a tire of a tractor. It is usually kept outside somewhere where it can fetch water from a roof like that, and we use this to give our cows water to drink. Sometimes you can use the water to do some chores like cleaning the floor or washing your feet, and you can have as many as you want in your compound. Like you see, we have another one there behind the shed, the cow shed. Next, we have this container. This container is where we usually keep a piece of soap, some piece of cloth for washing utensils, and some steel wire or steel wool. It is in every homestead, and it is usually kept next to where utensils are washed, like this. And in some homesteads, it's kept with some water to avoid the steel wire from rusting. Next is these black cooking pans that you will always find in a village homestead. These are sufurias. We call them sufurias or cooking pans that we use on a 3-stone cooker. You know, it has a lot of soot, and we don't wash the soot. We just cook repeatedly. We wash inside the sufuria but don't wash the soot. So with the time, it builds up on the sufuria and they look like that, the way you have seen. So like these ones have been washed, and some are here that were placed earlier to dry. And that brings us to the next item, which is this thing that we have placed them to dry. This is called a rack. In Luoland, it's called rack. I've forgotten the name in Western. You can comment down below how we call it in Luya. But that is where you place our clean utensils to dry. Next is this seat that we use to sit when cooking. They come in different sizes but same structure or same idea. Like this one is a small one, the other one is a big one. You sit on them like this when cooking. Luos call it mbero. Comment down below and let me know how you call it in your tribe. Next are these beautiful weavings from reeds. In Luya we call them shimwero. In Luos it is called a tonga. This thing is usually bought clean, but we smear cow dung inside. And we use it to carry farm products, or even when you go to the posho mill to mill some maize. This is a new one. As you can see, it has not been smeared with some cow dung, but that is what is going to happen to it. It is going to be smeared with some cow dung. Like I've said, these ones are used for carrying some farm produce. Like these ones are now holding some nduma. We go with them to the shamba, or we just go with them to the market to buy these things and carry. This is carrying potatoes. Now there are these ones that are smaller in size and are used for decorative purposes. You will find them hanged in the living area of some houses in the village, but you can also use them to keep your small items, like as we use them to keep some tomatoes and onions in the kitchen. In the bedroom you can put in the bedroom you can keep things like the Q-Tex or the lipstick and stuff like that. Next is this thing that looks like the atonga and the oderu that I've shown you initially, but this one is shallow. It is not as deep as the other one. It is called oderu in Luoland, and it is called lutelu in Western. We use it to keep farm products and to clean grains, and also to keep vegetables, as you can see. Next is this one, this beautiful weaving that is called hotete in Luoland, and this is a new one. An old one would look like this one. It is used to cover chicks from being eaten by eagles, and also when they are still very tiny, when they can easily die, you put them together and feed them. Also, when you want to cook a chicken in the evening and you don't want it to leave the house, you put it under this otete so that it doesn't leave the house. Next is this granary. It's called dero in Luo, but it is very rare in Western or Luya land. You can hardly find it there, but it is still there in Luo land. It is used to keep maize once taken out of the shamba or after harvesting. It is made from sticks. The sticks are bent when you're still very tiny, when they're easy to bend. And this is how it looks from the inside. And right now we don't have maize, so it has been abandoned. And when we harvest, all these iron sheets will be removed, and then it will be smeared with cow dung, and then all the maize will be kept inside before they are taken to the posho mill. It is used to keep a lot of maize. We keep maize in bulk inside the dero. Next is this paintbrush that I know you all know, but here in the village we don't use it to paint. We use it to brush our shoes and also to brush our hair. Next is this metallic pipe that we use to blow our fire when it goes off or when the flame goes off, and we call it furudut. How do you call it in your language if you have it? This is how we use it, guys. Next is this thing that we use to cook ugali. It is called karaya. It is not there in Western, but we use it in Luo Nyanza to cook ugali. And this is how we cook ugali in it. Next is this thing that you find in Luo land. It is called duol, and if you can see closely, there's some smoke coming from it, which means there is fire. And there's one there, and there's another one in the middle of the cow shed where the cows have surrounded. It is made from dust, or when you sweep the compound in the morning, we put together the dirt, then we put fire, and then we take dry cow dung that we had swept during the day and put on top, and that is called a duol. We use it to send away mosquitoes and also to create some warmth for the cows at night and the dogs. Next is this jembe that you all know. We use it to dig. And then there's this spade. We use it to carry some unwanted visitors like this one. This is a turtle that just came home, and we don't like them in the home because they might get into the house. So this one is being taken away. My mama has carried it and she's going to throw it, or just to take it somewhere that is not here. Aye. Next is this container that is made from a jerry can, and this is a well where we fetch our water here in the village. So we use that container that is made from a jerry can, or that is cut from a jerry can, to fetch water from this well. This is how we do it. Next is this thing that we call the joke, and these ones are new. An old one will look like this one. We use it to tie the cows together and in pairs so that they can pull the cart like that. Next we have this is called birika. In Luo we call it birika. In Luya land we call it binika. This one we use to put tea like this, that in Western people and Luo people, both Luyas and Luos like tea, and that's birika is for tea. Next is this toilet. We call it a pour flush. It is common in Western, where after you've done your shit, you pour water. You pour water, and the water, that place keeps opening itself and closing, as you can see. Then next we have these stones that you will find in very many homesteads. We use those stones to sharpen our knives, and also to scrub our feet when they are dirty, like I was doing. Next we have this broom that we use to sweep our houses. It is common in both Western and Nyanza houses, like that. Next we have this mat, which is common in Luo Nyanza. It is not so common in Western, but Luos use it for very different purposes. You can use it to relax outside the house. On a sunny day, you can put it under a shade outside the house. They also use it to sleep at night. You know, when the children are sleeping, they use this mat. Look at how I was relaxing and feeling nice. It is also used when sun drying farm products like the maize and beans and stuff like that. Next we have this gourd or ko, which is common in Luo Nyanza. We use it to make ghee from milk, and this is how we do it. We shake the fermented milk, and once you shake for some time, you do that, what I'm doing, to make the ghee collect at the top of the milk, and then you do that to make them collect together. And then after that, you just pour. When you do that, they make them stick together, and then you'll pour it, and the ghee is usually melted afterwards. And I'll make a video of me making ghee from this very soon, so ensure you subscribe so that you don't miss that video. We then use the milk to eat ugali, or to use in vegetables. We cook in vegetables and fish. Next is this mortar. We call it pan in Luo, and it is common in Luo Nyanza. We use it to pound things that we want pounded, like when you want to make peanut butter from peanuts, when you want to make some herbal medicine. Like there, I was pounding some herbs to apply on the head of my nephew who has ringworms. So yes, those are the kind of jobs it assists us with. So guys, if you have watched this video up to this point, ensure you comment and tell me which one of the above is in your village. Like, share, and don't leave without subscribing. See you in my next video. Bye.